5 p.m. August 21st will now come to order. Roll call.
Councillor Koivunen.
Here.
Councillor Lillis.
Here.
Councillor Hadrava.
Here.
Mayor Vysalovich.
Here. We have nothing under item C, approval of no minutes. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda, and we do have some changes under new business. You want to delete item 4?
Please.
And we are adding the operator maintenance work job description and authorizing posting for library technician. I'll just put that as item 8. In item 7, I'd like to add that the council authorize the city administrator to contact St. Louis County and give us a purchase price. We intend to purchase the delinquent properties on the list. There's 3 of them there. And that'll be number 7. Anybody else have any additions to the agenda, deletions or changes?
Were we discussing the Hippodrome issue tonight, Mayor?
Do we have to do anything on that right now?
You don't have to do it unless you want to.
Unless you guys want to just talk about that.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay. If not, to call for a motion that we approve tonight's agenda with these additions and deletions.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have a support?
Support?
Support by Lillis, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We have no appointments or presentations at this point. If anybody from the audience like to address the council at this point, or else I'll allow time after the meeting. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Retirement letter from Greg Chad, EMT. Resignation letter from Catherine Olson, EMT. The intercept agreement between Eveleth Ambulance Service and Virginia Fire Department Ambulance for blood policy and body fluid exposure policy. And request for Joe Hall and Pat Ziegler to attend the annual water and wastewater certification refresher and exam conference in St. Cloud.
I'll make that motion.
And you include letters of appreciation to the 2 EMTs, one retiring and one resigning.
I would be in favor of
Number 2.
number 2.
Number 2, at this
Okay.
time, yeah.
You change your motion then to reflect?
I will
that?
change my motion. to
Motion made
reflect that
by-
we send a letter to number 2.
Motion made by Drava, do I have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Lillis, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We have no public hearings, no unfinished business. Item 1 under new business, second reading of ordinance, amending ordinance number 69, second series, the City of Eveleth zoning. Anybody have any questions? This is considered our second reading. Anyone from the audience? If not, I'll call for a motion that we approve the second reading of this ordinance, or amendment to the ordinance.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Drava, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Letter from Re-Energizing Eveleth requesting the use of the city auditorium October 26, 2018 for Salute to Hockey fundraiser. You have any details on that, Jackie?
Oh, there's a group of folks that are working with Re-Energize Eveleth that want to put on this concert to raise some money for Salute to Hockey, which means Hockey Plaza, hockey statues. I thought it'd be really great to solicit some donations, and we are not able to solicit donations, so there's a private group that wants to go do that on behalf and then make a donation to the city or themselves work with the artist to get a statue, so.
That is for Friday evening, October 26th and October 27th. I imagine there's no conflicts there.
There is no conflict.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Drava that we grant this request. Do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion?
I just wanted to thank these folks, Re-Energizing Eveleth. It's an excellent cause, and I'm sure they're going to be putting in quite a bit of work to accomplish their objectives. So if anyone's listening, thank you very much.
And I like the fact that, you know, be able to showcase our auditorium too, because there's a lot of people that haven't seen it. And it's such a beautiful facility, so, I mean, if you have a wedding or if you have anything coming up, please contact City Hall or, you know, just come up for something like this and take a look at what we have. And it's gonna get better.
Yes, it is. It's nice to see the community involvement in using that building.
Yep.
Same. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Resolution authorizing to execute Minnesota Department of Transportation grant agreement for airport improvement excluding land acquisition. Anybody have any questions or anything on that? I imagine Virginia's got to pass the same kind of resolution too, don't
Well,
they?
actually,
Owners.
remember the airport's be doing a lot of projects this year and next year and the next year, large amount of money. And so Eveleth is gonna be the fiscal agent, and we're working through that paperwork right now with Kennedy and Graven. So we're gonna be the fiscal agent so that the grants flow through the city of Eveleth, and that the payments to the contractors, not included with grants from the IRRB and the FAA and the state, are gonna be funded by Eveleth and Virginia equally. And it's a short-term, 2-year deal, but the money's gonna flow through us. So because the money's gonna flow through us as the fiscal agent, we need to approve the grant.
And we've done this with many projects already,
Absolutely.
so it's
Yeah.
also move.
We have a support.
I'll support.
Support by Hadrava. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, item number 4, you wanted to delete.
Yes, please.
Okay, and item 5, we're taking that up with item 8 with Jerry's.
Sure.
Okay. Number 6, estimate for ATV signage.
So as you know, that the chief has worked with the county to make Eveleth very friendly for ATVers. And part of that, we believe, is better signage, better maps, helping to direct people where our ATV trails are within the city. So I worked with Blair Fellman, who does creative stuff for us, to figure out what would really work for Eveleth. So he's worked with an outside party to come up with this wonderful kind of large monument sign that we're gonna place in 3 locations throughout the city, and then have some other directional signage that says, here's where you can go to the map. So when you're coming into Eveleth from 3 ways, you can stop and say, here's where I can go, I can be legal, here's where I can park my vehicle, and we're hopefully gonna be able to advertise our own businesses on there too. And the money for this would come out of our hotel motel marketing fund.
Just a quick question. One of the spots that we would have is for people to, when they come into Eveleth, if I'm not mistaken, would be across from Snickers down there, because we put that parking lot in there. And if I'm not mistaken, we did put that there for 4-wheelers and snowmobiles.
So part of this is to appropriately signage that,
Okay.
to direct people.
So they
in
would
the
be
map.
directed where to go from our other
Correct.
spots? and-
Correct, to go park down there, yes.
And yeah, we did put a light on the wall for.
Yep.
And I really
snowmobiles
think
and
that
everything.
that's something we should have done a long time ago,
Yeah.
and since we could take this out of the hotel motel, and that's what it would be for, because they'll be able to come from the Super 8 to come uptown, if I'm not mistaken, Chief, on that back road?
From the Super 8, they would cross over to Hat Trick.
Yep.
And they could go north or south on Hat Trick and get to the outer boundaries. And getting back to the parking lot, the designated trail also crosses Monroe Street on Grant
Okay.
Avenue to access the other parking lots and businesses on the east side of the Grant Avenue.
Well, that's the main thing, is to get everybody up and support the community, and I'm
Yep.
all for it, so,
And make us
Yeah.
more friendly so that we're a destination for people.
yes.
Right.
And you said that you've already reviewed the locations that we want these signs posted?
I have reviewed them with the chief,
Okay.
absolutely, yes.
And it all works for you, Chief?
Yep, the 3 main focal points coming into town, whether you're leaving town or coming into town, that signage, I think, would just expand the signage we already have on the road. So,
Well, it'd be almost like when I hate to say this, I was down walking at Fail Pond one time, and I saw the signage down there for the trail, and that's very nice to look at to see where everything's at, so.
Well, I think, you need something there, definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
The west side is covered too then, at west entry?
Yes, when you're coming into town by Fail Pond, when you're coming in by OSI, or it would be actually West Eveleth, we're
No, I
gonna,
think OSI, I think.
yep.
and then-
And then down by Longren's,
Yep.
that intersection. So anytime you're coming into town, you're gonna run into one of those signs.
Good. That should enhance the city pretty much, having that.
Those are nice signs, yeah.
And they're rather large, so it's not something small, we're talking
No, they're
big
nice,
signs, big
nice
monuments.
looking signs, nice design.
Yeah,
You take it for granted when you live here all the time, you know where everything is, or friends, but.
Except when somebody asks you what a street is and you have a brain fade. It's like, oh, no, I don't know where it is.
B Avenue?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait, I do know.
That's been happening, more than I'd like to admit, eh?
Only with you older folks.
Anybody have any questions for the chief or Jackie? Otherwise, I'll call for a motion that we approve this estimate.
I guess I'll make the motion, we should approve it.
Motion made by Hadrava, do I have support?
I guess I'll support.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 7. Motion to authorize the city administrator to negotiate the purchase of the 3 properties, which include the Days Inn, I think, Bill's Audio and Tuna's. Because I know they wanted to forgive some easements or assessments, well, this will solve that problem too. Just to give us a purchase price and maybe contact our county commissioner too,
sure.
Nelson, that this is our intent. Yeah, we'd like to get a purchase price and get this over with as soon as possible.
Mayor, does that also include a letter of intent?
Yes, oh yeah. Because, there's been some inquiries on that property, and I just assume it's within the Eveleth city limits. I just assume have us make the decisions on what goes there and how we want to break the property up. Maybe there's more than one business that can go there. I don't know.
And we don't want to send them all over. This way they could come to us and
Yeah.
we take care of them in-house, and that's it. So with that, I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support?
I'll support.
Support by Lillis. Is there anything we need to add, Jackie? Is that enough to
Nope, that's
get you
good.
fired up
Yep.
on? Okay. No further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item number 8. Want to add a different operator maintenance worker job description and authorize advertising for library technician, children's specialist position, and for operator maintenance worker position. Anybody have any questions on anything, Jerry have to say, or Jackie on those positions?
Mayor, can you also approve the new revised library technician, children's specialist job description? So you got 2 job descriptions, library
Okay.
technician and operator maintenance worker.
Okay,
And
add
then
that
2
revised.
advertisements, library technician, operator maintenance worker. Right, Chair? Okay.
And add that to this motion. Anybody have any questions or anything? If not, call for a motion that we approve these items.
So
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have support?
I'll support it.
Support by Hadrava, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Well, that takes care of new business.
Chair.
Oh, let's see.
Well, there's
Live up here.
a cat in there.
Yeah.
we gave Mitch the squeaky chair. It used to be down here.
Some WD-40 on here.
Anybody in the council have any committee reports or anything?
I would just like to welcome Mitch back. This is almost like Back to the Future looking across at him. It's been a while.
Deja vu all over again?
Yes, well, I'd just like to welcome you back.
Same for me as well.
We've been through, I don't know what, 4? 5?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Maybe you'll stay a
I
while.
will stay a while.
Okay.
That is the long-range plan. Absolutely.
We got great
As long
plans
as
for
you'll have me.
Oh,
you.
yes.
We got some great plans for you.
You know,
Be careful what you wish for.
yeah. I would know it too, I just, all of the end of the days in property is that was
Yeah.
3.5 years ago, that was something we were just really starting to work on, trying to get that, and glad to see the city's persistence and patience and waiting for that, and, I mean, that's a great piece of property, I mean.
And you get to be part of it now again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I guess, it's probably the most prime piece of property in the city, and I guess that, we don't need any partnerships to develop it unless it's, we can take the first steps.
Yep.
Because I think there's probably some plans for that, but, we should be in the loop here, and we should own it. That was what my whole thinking was the whole time.
I agree, Mayor. We've discussed this time and time again, and that's always been the focus of our discussions, is that we desire to own that property. I thought we had made it clear some time ago.
I did too, waited till the demo was done, and that was gonna be that.
You passed a resolution, well, I think it was last year, talking about your intent to purchase that.
This has been a long
Yep.
time coming, so.
Yeah, why don't they have us a price ready for the first meeting in September?
Okay.
Tell them that's kind of our timetable.
Sure.
That might be your first job there, Mitch. Chasing that one down.
Knock off the rust and see if I can be up to the task here, so, yeah.
I really don't have anything to bring up, but Chief, you have anything?
No, sir.
Are all our surveillance cameras up and working?
Our surveillance cameras are up and working, Mayor, and they seem to be working very good. And we're looking at future Phase 2 plans.
Oh, that's interesting. Jerry, you have any other?
Just to bring you up to date, last council meeting, we discussed the sewer line behind Douglas Court that was
Yeah.
failing. And we did get a contractor in there to run all the service lines. So we're starting to, with Benchmark, starting to put together a game plan to move forward. So hopefully next council meeting, we have some numbers and a little more information for you. It doesn't look as bad as what we thought initially.
Well, there's a lot of surprises in these old towns, I'll tell you that. Rod, you have anything to add?
Nothing else.
Our boys are supposed to kick off on our 2 projects this month. Jackson Street, and we have the one alley job up there.
Yeah, this one, they should be the 4 lines. 2 alleys on Jackson Street.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few big trucks parked up by Hilltop Manor. We wonder if that was part of that project, but
I think they're staying at the hotel there.
been a lot of no vacancy on that old motel sign up there.
They've actually even said that they've been so busy that if you need a room to call because they've just been packed, which is a very good thing to hear.
Yes, it is.
They've done a lot of work up there. They've made it look good. I mean, it's another business that's doing very well. And
Yeah, when these contractors come up, that's where a lot of them stay too.
Yep, and Al was getting his parking lot done today at the IGA's, so he's been busy. And
Al said it took 2 years to get somebody to do it. Yeah, I said he don't know what else he has to do. 2 years they've been stalling him off. But, no, that'll make that place really
you
look
bet.
nice, the new parking lot. Anything else, Rod? Jackie, you have anything to add?
No, just that I didn't complete it, but TMI Coatings just completed the renovation of the pillars in front of City Hall on the other facade, so they did a nice job and it's looking good. Another 10, 15 years, we're set.
Mitch, you have anything to add here now that you're getting back into the swing?
No, just very glad, Mayor and Council, very glad to be back, and thank you for your well wishes and your welcome. It's great to see everybody again, and I've been gone for 3.5 years, and I've learned a lot, and I think maybe you can always mature and grow, and so I've probably matured and grown a little bit, and have a few more gray hairs, and so, yeah, but looking forward to working with everybody again.
Good. It's good to have you back. Joe, you have anything to add? Brian?
No, sir.
Bradley?
Not at this time.
Brian? Oh,
he's not here?
I thought he was late. So he's getting it now, 'cause
Boy, I can
gotta be
imagine how
something
glad
we
I
can
got
give
them
'em.
last week, so.
Anyone
For
from
2
the
weeks, so.
audience like to add anything? If not, I'll adjourn the meeting.